Welcome to the last module on Hotel Service Operations Management. In this module, I'm going to be talking about the final exam. But before I do that, I just want to give a little bit of an overview about hotel service operations and what this course was entailing, and then I am going to focus on the final exam structure with a little bit of a note about getting some feedback from you. So first, what is service operations management? And hopefully throughout the semester you've experienced that it's a whole transformation process where, the decisions that you put into your hotel with regards to, the infrastructure, what sort of facilities do you have, what price are you charging, the number of staff that you put in, all of that integrates together to actually run a successful hotel. So in some cases you'll find that, your occupancy's gone up because all of these departments work well together. Or on the flip side, if you have a problem in one area, how does that actually impact your performance? And so right from the start of semester, we looked at this, and it's a good summary diagram just to point out that, you've made a lot of decisions with regards to running your hotel, and that is what operations management there in the middle is all about. So whatever you invest into your hotel, be it people, marketing, technology, you're going to get satisfied or dissatisfied customers at the end of that. And just the last point I want to talk about HOTS is that HOTS is a real important simulation tool that's used internationally in over 100 hotel schools around the world, but it's actually used in real hotels. So companies like the Marriott are using it as a training program. So it's a real good tool in trying to assist you in learning problem-solving skills. So I hope it's been successful in achieving that with you. So now the final exam. Now just check the actual date. I know it's been released, but just check just to make sure there hasn't been any last minute changes. You've got 2 hours to complete your exam, and in the first 10 minutes, of course, you're allowed to write on your exam paper, but you're not allowed to write on the exam booklet where you're actually putting in your answers. So during that time, read through it, think about what the questions are asking of you. All right, so obviously bring your pen and pencil, rubber, however you like to write, I don't mind. You will need a calculator, of course, so only non-programmable calculators are allowed, otherwise, and also you're not allowed to have smart watches as well, so anything like that, just make sure you leave at home. Dictionaries, if you need a dictionary, it's a translation-only dictionary, and again, they'll be taken off if you've got a full dictionary, so just be careful there. So the final exam is essentially a case study. So you're going to be analysing this hotel's past performance, and we're going to have a look at all the appendices in a minute. So you're going to look at how did this hotel perform for the last year, and in addition, I'm going to be giving you all the decision tabs for where they are right this moment. So at the end of year 2, so the month of December's been cycled. So you're going to actually see the decisions that are sitting in the system at the moment. So what you need to do is become familiar with 3-star hotel decisions and 4-star hotel decisions. So at the start of the question in the exam, I'll actually tell you this is a 3-star hotel or this is a 4-star hotel. So of course you've got to think about all the key decision tabs within HOTS. Revenue management, you need to understand staffing decisions, food and beverage decisions, marketing, refurbishment. So for instance, if I show you the screen about the rates in the revenue management page, well, what are they doing right? What are they doing wrong? What rates suit a 3-star hotel or a 4-star hotel? Staffing, roughly, how many staff should they have? So if you're looking at the average occupancy in year, and in this particular example, they finished year 2, so what was their average occupancy for year 2? So is their staff numbers about right? So you do need to know roughly a rough calculation of staffing. And by now I think you should know for hotel service staff, you need 11 hotel service staff for 100 occupied rooms. So that sort of information you need to be able to work out. Now I know that in EMS, in some of the EMS options you need extra staff. So I'm not going to get so finicky because I don't expect you to remember that. With each EMS option, do you need 0.5 of a staff member and so on. But you need to roughly estimate, well, how many staff is required? What is the appropriate pay level for a 3-star hotel versus a 4-star hotel? What sort of training should you be offering? Roughly, on average. So we know that from that Collaborate session we did from workshop week, I forgot now if it's week 10 or 11, where we did an exercise looking at training numbers. So if your average training's $3, well, and you're a 4-star hotel, you should know that that's too low, that really suits a 1-star hotel. Food and beverage, again, the same thing. What level of food and beverage menu and supplier suits a 3-star hotel versus a 4-star hotel? What is the price that you should be charging? So have a look at the prices and facilities report. That will help you look at, well, roughly for lunch and dinner for a 3-star hotel it should be this, roughly for a 4-star it should be that. And similarly, the same report is going to give you the price, the rates. So what, approximately a 4-star hotel's charging and a 3-star hotel's charging. And marketing, a similar process. So if you have a look at the marketing, well, first of all, you can calculate, have they actually spent the right amount on advertising for the year? And then look at where they're actually advertising. So we know that there's certain mediums that are more effective for weekday rooms, weekend rooms. They should be advertising meals. What is the season at the moment? What should they be advertising now? Approximately, how much money should they be spending on each product? So if you've estimated that they should be spending $10,000 a week, it would seem a bit odd if they were all of a sudden spending half of that on meals or conferences, let's say. And then refurbishment decisions, of course. So looking at the status of the hotel, how they, what is the current condition, and what do you think they should be doing? So the exam, and just read the questions, the exam can be asking you about past performance, and then it can also ask, well, what are you recommending that they should do now? Are there any issues that you need to be concerned about? Of course, the STAR report you need to know, which is the very first appendix that you will actually see, because I'm going to give that to you before the exam. So I'm going to release all of your financial statements a week before your exam. Sorry, let me clarify. Not all of your financial statements, but I'll show you which ones I'm going to release in a minute. Then, of course, understand your financial ratios. You need to be able to do your current asset ratio, your debt, your long-term and short-term stability ratios, and growth, and interpret them. You can't just calculate them. Show me how you've calculated it. So I know, because I'm giving you these appendices beforehand, you would be able to calculate and know what your ROAS is and your short and your long-term stability ratios. But in your exam, you actually have to show me how you've calculated it and interpret it. What does it mean? Are you happy with that or not? And that's your financial analysis. And of course, the HOTS reports and key metrics, like I've been talking about. So this is the whole list of appendices that will be in your exam. And so you can see there, you've got all your financial statements first, the monthly indicators, and then your decision tabs. And these are the appendices that I'm going to release to you before the exam. So those will get released a week before your exam. And spend the time going through each statement, print it out, highlight things, go through every line and say, well, what does this mean? Is this relevant or not? So not everything's going to be relevant and that you need to talk about, but it'll highlight what are some of the problem areas within this hotel. And of course, you can't come to me asking me about answering issues from those appendices. Of course, you can ask me things from your own HOTS hotel. You can say, well, this is my financial report. What does this mean or what does that mean? So I'm happy to do that. But with these particular ones that is in the exam, I can't actually comment on. So it is a closed book exam, so you can't take any notes in with you. So those appendices, if you've written all over, you actually can't take it into the exam. But of course, I'm supplying it again in the exam for you. So this is the final exam structure. So you've got 7 questions, and I've just, giving you, I guess, highlighting the fact that not all the questions are the same value. So when you're looking at the time that you've got, stop to think about, well, question number 1, I really only should spend so many minutes on because it's worth 6 marks. And question 2, I can spend a bit more time. So just, work that out so then you know that you don't spend too much time on one and run out of time at the end of the exam. Please answer it in order of the questions. It just makes it a bit easier and it flows better. And yeah, so question 1, if you got stuck, just leave space, go to the next page and answer question 2. Yes, okay, in the order supplied, show all workings for your calculations. So I'm going to be marking it out of 50, and it is worth 50% of your semester grade. So don't write an essay style. Sometimes students get tempted to rewrite the question and have an introduction and have one big paragraph. It's not the best way to actually write it. Rather write bullet points. So if a question's asking about, revenue management, bullet points. This is an issue, this is an issue, this is an issue. And that way it's easier to mark and it's clearer for you if you have time, you can go back and say, oh, okay, I've got those 5 points listed or 8 points, or whatever. Study the revision questions, as these will help you. So like I was giving an example before with training. So if you've gone through the questions, you'll find it does help you. And one of the weekly guides actually had an outline of things that you could be looking for. The statement of income, the balance sheet. We said, how much revenue do you have coming from rooms compared to food and beverage? So that will help you as well, doing a bit of an overview. Okay, timing I spoke about. So 1 mark equals 2.4 minutes. So a 5-mark question will be 12 minutes, a 10-mark question, 24 minutes. So, try and give yourself that time. And of course, if a question is worth 10 marks and then you've got 24 minutes allocated, you can write quite a bit of information in 20 minutes, say. Because I know you need time to sort of review some of those statements. But that's the reason why I've given you many of the financial statements beforehand. So you've got plenty of time to go through it and have a good understanding of those financial statements. All right, so we will obviously have a collaborate session as well on the final exam. Feel free to send me any emails while you're studying if you get stuck with something. And I would really appreciate if you could complete the course survey. I'm going to put a link up on the course site because I really would like to see how I can improve this course for distance learners. If there's any extra additional things I can be doing, it'd be great. I'd really appreciate your feedback. So I hope you've enjoyed the course. I hope it's helped you learn. I hope you've understood the interactions between different departments within a hotel. All the best with your future endeavours. I hope you keep studying. Thank you very much. Bye.